Good evening and welcome to episode 106. As always, let's start with our gratitude attitude. So, if you would please gently close your eyes. Take a deep breath. As you exhale, relax your body. Take another deep breath. As you exhale, let all your stress melt away. Take one more deep breath. This time, completely let yourself go. Now, think of one thing that you're thankful for that happened in the past week. Once you identified that, think about why you are thankful. And now let's set it free. If you're by yourself, say it out loud what you are thankful for and why. If you're with someone, tell it to each other. All right. So today, let's explore how a simple way of changing our minds can change our experiences. Change your mind, change your world. So while researching this topic, I discovered that there is actually a book with the same name. How cool is that? So in last session, we talked about how happiness is an inside job and how pain and pleasure are within us. How we let external conditions dictate our mood. I'm sure we all had some kind of problem today, right? It bothered us. Maybe it disturbed our peace. But if you think back, was that an external problem or an internal problem? I would bet a pretty penny that it was an external problem. We let our external problems power to make us suffer. Right? We give that power to our external problems. It's all about perception, right? Say one day is going great. You start driving to work. Everything's going your way. Traffic's smooth. Co-workers are on their best behavior. Somebody gives you chocolate. Everything is going smooth. On the very next day, maybe you wake up on the wrong side of the bed and we feel that the whole world is against us. Someone cuts us off in traffic, right? Co-workers are demanding, and it goes on and on. So it's the same set of characters, one day to the other. But one day we love them, next day we despise them. Why is that? Because that day our internal compass is off. Let me tell you a story. It's about 20 years ago. I had a couple of extra days in New Orleans, so I started driving in Mississippi. I'm driving through rural Mississippi. Not a huge highway, it's a state road, trees everywhere, and I come to a Y junction. And right in the middle of the junction, this one lady, she's selling boiled peanuts. I stop the car, I start talking to her. I never had boiled peanuts in my life before. So I said, okay, I'll buy some. It was a couple of bucks, I think. So I bought the peanuts. I started talking with her. And I said, I asked her how her day was going. And she said, it's a nice day. And it was especially a good day. So I got curious. I said, what made that an especially good day? And she says, well, business is good today. I'll make 20 bucks. Think about it. $20 was an especially good day for her. Now, granted, it was rural Mississippi, early 2000s, but still 20 bucks a day, right? It was barely minimum wage in those days. But she just had this particularly bright outlook on life. I bet she hardly had a bad day, right? 20 bucks, you give it to somebody else, right? It doesn't work for them. So everything depends on our mind, including our sense of self. Now, I'm not sure, I may have talked about this also in the past, but let me just reiterate that we all have this strong sense of self, who we are. We hold on to that. We have a certain personality. We do X and not Y. That's just me. I'm that way. That's my mold, whatever we call it, right? But if you think about it, this sense of self is not constant. Actually, it's constantly changing. And only way to know that for a fact is to go back some years. Say, go back to when you were 10 years old. I bet when you were 10, your sense of who you were was totally different than your sense of who you are today. Your 10-year-old self may not recognize who you have become today. I know my 10-year self does not recognize that. And it doesn't have to be 10 years, right? You can do you can say the same, say if you're 25 years old, right? So when you were 10, when you're 25, when you're 40, let's say, right? There are three different selves. And all three have different perspective, but they were all holding on to it at the time. So our sense of self is evolving, obviously, and that's a good thing. If we keep that in our mind, if we are mindful about that hey, it's constantly changing. And if it's constantly changing, then why are we hanging on to it? If we realize that our sense of self depends upon our thoughts, it becomes liberating because now we are free to change our thoughts and in turn change our sense of self. Change your mind, change your world. How cool is that? Another thing is that our sense of self is always based on our delusions, our anger, our jealousy, our pride, our attachment, and so on. But as long as imputed self of sense, meaning it depends on our thoughts, right? It's not firm. Then why not impute a happier state of mind? Because the universe gives us what we want. If we always identify ourselves with, I'm tired, I'm frustrated, I'm angry, that's what the universe is going to give us. We do what we intend to do anyway, but right? So why not create the intention to be happy all the time? If we are completely rattled someday, right? And overwhelmed, rather than saying, okay, I'm rattled, I'm frustrated, I'm overwhelmed, whatever delusions is coming up, rather than identifying that with us, why don't we say, you know what? I'm a peaceful person. I'm a peaceful person which happens to be rattled right now. So we are acknowledging that we are rattled. We don't have to ignore that. I'm a peaceful person, happens to be frustrated today. We identify ourselves with our peaceful nature in that case. Now, all of a sudden, we have changed the basis of our imputation. We are no longer identify ourselves with the unhappy, frustrated, rattled, angry person. But we recognize that those are just our delusions. They'll come. Time to time they'll come. No worries. It'll go away. And we talked about this before. We have this unlimited potential for peace, right? We are like this golden nugget with dirt on it. So our peaceful nature, our Buddha nature, is that golden nugget at our heart. And our frustration, our anger, our jealousy, our tiredness, all of that is just a dirt on that golden nugget. But the dirt is so thick, we are not recognizing the golden nugget behind it. If we recognize that we are not this dirty rock, but we are that golden nugget, happens to have dirt on it. As soon as we realize and accept that, we begin the work of removing the dirt from our golden nugget. So we can be that peaceful person all the time, right? No dirt. So that's the discussion for the day. In today's meditation, as always, we'll first settle down at our hearts, and then we'll try to focus our attention on the parts of our body that are calling for our attention. Let's say you're experiencing pain in your hand or your leg or some other body part. We'll bring our attention to that body part until the pain is no longer bothering us. That doesn't mean the pain goes away. It just means we don't suffer from that pain anymore. Now, if we don't have any pain in our body, Then we'll bring our attention to any body part that's calling our attention. Sometimes, you get itchy or some scratchy feeling, right? So we'll focus there without itching or scratching, by the way. And then once that sensation passes, we'll focus on the vast awareness and just enjoy that without any thoughts. And in between, if the sensation comes back, again, we'll bring our attention to the sensation or pain until that sensation goes away or the pain doesn't bother us anymore. So that's the idea. If you are ready, let's begin. Please get into your meditation posture, cross-seated position. If you are in a chair, make sure your legs are touching the ground, your back straight, spine upright, shoulders leveled. Gently close your eyes. Keep your mouth just a little bit open, so any stress you may have accumulated in your jaws will dissipate. Palms in your lap, right over left, thumbs gently touching each other. Take a deep breath. As you exhale, let all your worries dissipate. Take another deep breath. As you exhale, see yourself completely relaxed. Bring your attention to the sensation of your breath at your nostrils. Feel the cool air as you breathe in. Feel slightly warmer air as you breathe out. Keep your attention at your nostrils for about a minute or so on your own. Bring your attention at your heart. Enjoy the peace of your own mind at your heart. Let this peaceful moment bring the next peaceful moment. Remember, there's nothing to do, nowhere to go. Just enjoy. Now, bring your attention to any part of your body that is in particular pain. Keep your focus there until the pain no longer bothers you. If you have no pain, bring your attention to any part that is craving for attention, like an itch or a scratch. Just bring your focus there until that feeling goes away. If you have no pain or no feeling, just enjoy the vast, bright awareness without any thoughts. If you are feeling pain or sensation in any of your body parts, bring your focus there. Otherwise, just enjoy the wide, bright awareness without any thought. When you're ready, gently open your eyes. Any questions?
One today.
Okay, I'm going to stop.